If you've been living with React for a while, you've probably had that moment where Next.js starts to almost feel heavy, like those 1 to 2 second delays just clicking around on localhost, amongst other things. These all-in-one tools are great for quick starts, but they can pile on a lot and lock you in when things start to get more custom. There's this framework called Vike that's supposed to help with all that. What is Vike and is it even worth using? That's what we're looking at here. Now, before we start, I must say it's not perfect, but it might just be the alternative you need. We have videos coming out all the time. Be sure to subscribe. If you're coming from Next.js, then Vike might pique some interest here. It almost comes across as a mix of React, Vue, Solid, whatever, while keeping things lightweight without needing to fight the system. It's a modular meta framework built on Vite that lets you drop in just what you need without forcing everything together. First launched in 2021, then rebranded in 2023, it now sits at over 5K stars on GitHub, and it supposedly tackles a lot by giving us more control. Why should you even care about this, and how does this stand out compared to others? Well, first off, we have flexibility. The flexibility here is nuts, almost like squirrels with acorn kind of nuts. You can swap out UIs like React for Vue without ripping everything apart, all thanks to some low-level hooks that they have built in. This seems to make it really good for stuff like micro frontends or apps with multiple tenants where you need that fine-tuned control. It's a lot easier to pull off migrations without full rewrites, which is next to impossible in Next.js without some pain. But as they say, right, no pain, no gain. Not sure if that still applies here or not. Performance is another big one. Vike apps tend to ship tiny client bundles, often in 10 to 15K kilobyte range, compared to Next apps that easily hit 70 to 100 before you even notice. Deployment has improved a lot too since they dropped a tool called Photon that makes it straightforward to deploy to edge platforms like Cloudflare Workers or Vercel. No cold starts and very low TTFB. Vike almost comes across as boring, but in a good way, right? It's MIT licensed, it's not changing direction every 6 months, and it plays pretty nicely with stuff like Zod, handstack query, or even your own data layer. So here I am inside my Vike project. Now, the structure is pretty neat, actually. I have pages, Telefunk I'll touch on, components, and inside pages, I have an about page, a guestbook page where I can add actual entries into this portfolio website I made, and then index. Now, what's cool here is if I go to about, this is a React page, but Vike allows us to build out these islands, these Vue components that I can then drop directly into other React pages. This is just for skills for the portfolio, but I can use React, Vue, or Solid in the same project with no wrappers, there's no workarounds, and I can even use this on the same page. So this really gives us a lot of flexibility, allowing us to use different frameworks within one. Other cool features here is I have these config files, right? Index config. And you can see here that inside index, right, I've set the SSR to false. So each page chooses its rendering strategy. The home page is SSG pre-rendered at build time. And then the guest book, where's my guest book? Right here, boom, true. The guest book SSR is rendered on each request. So I can configure per page with a simple Boolean or even mix static and dynamic pages into one app. My last setup here is a folder called Telefunk where I have this Telefunk TypeScript file. And inside here, Telefunk gives you type safe server functions where I can write a function on the server, call it from the client with full TypeScript support. I don't need REST endpoints. I don't need API routes. It's just my functions. And I have a function here, right here, add entry, where the guestbook calls add entry directly and TypeScript knows the types. So it gives us type safety end-to-end with, as we can see, a lot less boilerplate. But look, Vike still has drawbacks from what I've seen. I've played around a little bit here, and there are some things to touch on. If you're deep in React and love Next, some of this stuff might actually tick you off. The learning curve's a bit of a joke because it's bare bones. So you're wiring up data fetching and caching yourself with hooks, unlike Next's get server-side props, which is sort of a pain. People complain the docs feel patchy on tricky bits like advanced React setups. The docs were a bit confusing on mine as well, but I guess that's something they will hopefully improve with more traction that they get. The ecosystem is smaller too. There's no built-in image optimization, no official auth stack, no massive plugin market. So that's why I said it's sort of bare bones. You'll find community solutions out there, but you're assembling the pieces yourself. Whether you like that or you don't, that could be a drawback. React server components also aren't even fully there yet. You can approximate the pattern with server functions, plus the occasional bugs crop up, like hydration mismatches in React-heavy apps or TS quirks. All something to look out for. Next.js is still awesome. For fast MVPs, content-heavy sites, and teams, right? Its batteries included. It's polished and deeply integrated with Vercel. On the flip side, though, Vike seems to be a good player when you care about control, performance, and long-term flexibility, although it seems like they're just getting started. Hopefully there's more to come. For these reasons, I'm not saying switch to Vike by any means. I still like Next, so I might just stay with that. But it's definitely worth taking a look at. Bottom line here, Vike's not going to hold your hand, but if Next got you frustrated, spin up a side project using Vike and just see how it feels. We'll see you in another video.